I'm Myke Shrews,
And I'm Tivis,
and you're listening to
the Munster Cast.
episode 87. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and sleepy friend, Tivis. Tivis, how you doing today, dude?
Oh, we're both sleepy today.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, you can tell we did not sleep.
Taylor Swift ruined my life.
I think a lot of people say that.
Nah, it's fine.
Oh shit. All right. Anyways, guys, let's jump on in to the dirty business real quick. We're gonna do this
Do
real quick
not
this
dump.
week. Blast through all this stuff for you guys. You can find the MunsterCast on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, and via Twitter Twitter via the MunsterCast. Everything is there right now. I think Twitter's run by the bot, so whatever you see there, that's just like automatic stuff. And you guys can also check us out on YouTube to see our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday via youtube.com/at TheMunsterCast. That's youtube.com/at TheMunsterCast. Not a MunsterCast, as Tivis has said a couple episodes ago. The MunsterCast. You can also go over to www.themunstercast.com and check out our website over there. It has all of our content in one spot. That's the video, the audio, the vlogs, blogs, including a tab on the right hand side of the screen where you can click it and leave us a voice message. Quickest way to get onto the show is by leaving us a voice message for sure. If you want us to play it on the show, please let us know at the end of the message so that we have your permission to do so. You can also click the store tab on there or just go over to themunstercast.com/merch and you will get to go over to our awesome merch shop over there, guys, and check out like awesome shirts like I am wearing today. Let's back the team of Munster Dracula. This is a shirt designed after a Kennedy ad, actually, that I put up. So, dude, and this thing feels so good to wear. I love it. I don't know what fabric this one is, but it's so nice. It's so good. You can also email us, guys, at themunstercast@outlook.com. That is themunstercast@outlook.com. Again, there you can just email us anything you want Munster related. Let us know what you think of the show, good or bad. It doesn't really matter. We love the criticism, guys, and the feedback. And you can also email us there if you want to try and get on the show, or if you know anybody that would like to get on the show or should come on the show that you actually have contact with. Don't just be like, hey, get Rob Zombie on and be like, okay, do you have his phone number, dude? Like, all right. And then you can also go over to I'll do these for you today, Tivis. Patreon.com/ okay. Well, Tivis will do them. All right.
Yeah.
There you go, dude.
So, we have a Patreon, as always. You listened to 87 episodes of the show. I don't remember how many had the Patreon, but it's a tip jar. You got $1 you won't miss, throw it towards us. You know, it helps keep the show, keeps the lights on. You also get access to our Discord, which you can then chat with us and other Munster fans. And you get access to the Munsters Today episodes that we are watching, because it's the only way we've looked that we can where we can have them accessible.
Yeah, share
without people downloading them, because Universal would get upset with us, and we don't want that. We'd like to be on their good side. Maybe they'll share some juicy info with us one day, but I doubt that. What helps the show more than that, though, is leaving us a review on your podcatcher of choice on YouTube, feeding that algorithm to pump us up, putting reviews, thumbs up, subscribing, hitting that bell on YouTube, all that stuff, telling friends, family, random people on the street. Maybe you're in a drunk tank and you're just like, hey, have you heard of this weird show with these two morons? Uh, all that stuff helps the show way more. Uh, yeah,
Definitely.
I'm unhinged today, Myke. Uh, and honestly, with all of you out there that have done that over the past, God, we've been doing this since 21, uh, almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Uh, we appreciate you so much. Uh, as for upcoming cons, they don't have anything on the official website for Butch Patrick. So, Jeff Daniel Phillips, as I've been saying, is going to be in HorrorCon UK. And why does this never just Sheffield, England? It used to pop up as a little preview when I put my mouse over it. Now it just doesn't. And then, of course, Daniel Roebuck will be at the Monster Bash conference in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah,
In June, right?
July.
July. Okay.
A friend of the show. You may know him as Nice Guy on YouTube. Uh, yeah, he's a yearly regular there. His friend, runs it. So go there, support them. If you got any other local ones nearby, go to them. They're fun. I just went to one last weekend. It was awesome. Uh, and if you got people that were in the Munsters or related to Universal Monsters in any way, let us know. We'll advertise it for you. I don't care.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and then lastly, you guys can swing on over to themunstercast.com/sticker mule 10. That's 10. Um, and you get a $10 off credit on your first purchase there, guys. Definitely take advantage of it. We are an affiliate with them, so we do get a $10 credit put onto our account every time that people do sign up with them through that link. It is themunstercast.com/sticker mule 10. That's STICKERMULE 10. And definitely do that, guys. They have some great merch over there that you can get made for yourself. If you have like a shop or a podcast yourself or anything like that, it's awesome place to make keychains and stickers and shirts and all that fun stuff, guys. So definitely
Mhm.
take advantage of it. All right, Tivis. So what are we talking about today?
Well, before we get that,
Oh,
a little factoid that
mhm.
Frank gave us about last episode. Not
Two
last
episodes ago.
episode, 2 episodes ago, uh, about Marilyn that you said you noticed and I didn't.
Hmm.
Apparently, the production team told her she needed to get lip injections and stuff, which is
Yeah.
horrible. But
Yeah.
yeah, you noticed that. I didn't.
Yeah, especially and the thing is, like, you can't undo that once it's done to your body, so, you know,
Yeah.
especially God knows what they were actually using back in the '80s too.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a shame, but the production company or production company, the producers apparently switched over from the original Munster people to some new people, and they had some choice decisions that, you know,
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, he said that, like, they did the lip thing and had her, like, lose weight. I guess that's why she was gone for a few episodes, he said in there.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, not
that's
so
bad.
fun fact, but it's history of the show, and it
Yeah,
should be talked about because some fucking assholes are still like that today. But
yeah.
anyway, on to today's episode.
Yes, what are we talking about today, Tivis?
Once in a blue moon, which we got close. I believe my guess was they get a guest that doesn't leave.
Oh, yeah. I think we said, like, a sister or something too, so it's we're close,
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No way would we have guessed it was Lily's mom. Uh,
yeah.
that was
That
in that. Yeah, we'll get into that.
yeah.
All right. So, Once in a Blue Moon, season 2, episode 10 or 105. I hope I changed that over. I have to do my math again. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. Mike, do the math. Uh, Aired Saturday, December 9th, 1989. This is our very last episode in the 80s. We are about to enter the decade I was born. Uh,
This is the last episode in the 80s? They didn't do another one after this?
nope, they went on their Christmas hiatus or winter hiatus, whatever
Oh.
you want to call it.
No, no, no. There's one more. Next week's episode is in the 80s still.
Is it? I thought that was, I could have swore episode
Yep.
11 was.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right
Oh,
now. Yeah, I just pulled it real quick.
okay. I must have that reversed in my head. I am sorry.
All right.
This was written by Bill Rosenthal and Noah Taft, who this is their 6th of 8 episode. Mike, you remember them from the last episode we watched with 300 something?
Mhm.
Again, directed by Bonnie Franklin. This is her 6th of 12, halfway point for this amazing woman. For our guest this week, we had Joe D. Winter, and that is Joe and D separately, not Jody, as Katya. She unfortunately passed in 2016 at the age of 94, but that's a hell of a life, 94.
Yeah.
First credit is listed in 1965 for The Rogues. She was in 7 episodes of The Name of the Game as Helena. She was in 22 episodes of Gloria as Dr. Maggie Lawrence. Played Miss Willis in Dirty Harry, and she had tons of one-off appearances throughout her career. Heck of a catalog she's got.
Yeah.
They call it CV or whatever. She was in The Brady Bunch, $6 Million Man, Airport 77, Wonder Woman, Soap, St. Elsewhere, Matlock, Growing Pains, Frasier, and her last credit was for 2016 in Monday Nights at 7. So
Okay.
long career. I believe her
She
last regular appearance was in 2002.
she looked familiar, so I've had to have seen it because I mean I've watched like the Brady Bunch and all that stuff. So
And you've been
it,
in a Matlock kick, so
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
you know,
Shh! Don't tell people my secrets.
I am waking up now. All right, I'm getting in the groove.
Alrighty. All right.
Synopsis time.
Synopsis time. Awesome,
Oh, you
dude.
forgot.
No, no, I would never forget. Um,
I gotta pull it up.
so yeah, let's do this. Synopsis time. Once in the Blue Moon, which aired December 9th, 1989, as Tivis previously stated. Oh boy, I did not go back through and redo my first draft, so
Oh,
apologies.
I
On this
just
oh, what?
behind the scenes. Mike told me he's not happy with his synopsis. So when it's done, everyone give your honest opinion.
Oh yeah. Oh, on this episode of The Munsters Today, a haunting specter emerges from the depths of the past, manifesting as Lily's long lost mother and Grandpa's wife. After an unfathomable 350 years of separation, will Grandpa succumb to the allure of his ethereal bride, or will his centuries long drought render him bitter and desolate? Amidst this unearthly reunion, secrets of the Bates Motel's past unravel, while Herman turns Super Saiyan. As tension crackles in the air, can a single encounter quell the inferno of 3.5 centuries of resentment, or will the Munster's former chauffeur turned celebrity set the tone for the night with both passion and blood? In the midst of all of this, Marilyn unveils her transformation with her newfound makeup regimen. But as the family grapples with the metamorphosis, we ask, will the dragon lady from hell mend Grandpa's heart? And now, with the spirit of adventure pulsing through his veins like the hardy boys of old, will Grandpa live for the moment? Will Eddie be scorned, or will Grandpa finally score? Brace yourselves, for amidst this storm of supernatural intrigue, only one question truly matters. Will chaos ensue? Find out this week on The Munsters Today. Ah, okay.
That wasn't bad. What the hell are you sad about?
Eh, I didn't want to use certain words, but eh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I just realized I forgot to put my ring on. Uh, no, I thought that was good. Um, I got confused with the Dragon Ball reference, but then I remembered exactly what you're referencing. So
Isn't that
there is
technically
so much that happened in this episode. First
yeah.
of all, they're still married. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll get into it though.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
300
trying
300
not to talk to you about this.
yeah.
This was a hard one.
This yeah, I was gonna text you as I was watching. I was like, wait, what? But I just yeah, I left it in my notes. All right. So let's dive on into this, man. Once in a blue moon.
That looks so
Awesome.
nice.
That looks so cool.
I gotta regain control of my face. Okay, so we open with Marilyn putting putting a mask on her face when the doorbell rings. She passes Lily, and Lily comments on how beautiful she looks today. Which, whoa, this joke is back. I hope now that we found out these new people are in charge, this doesn't become a regular thing again. Um,
Right. Right. But
so
I
yeah,
mean,
Lily goes to the door.
well, it makes sense because her face is like a green and Herman's face is green, so that's kind of where I think Lily was going with that one. But then like other people comment on it too, so yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yep.
it turns out it's Lily's mom, which we spoiled already. I spoiled already because I don't care. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was too excited to wait.
It gets kind of spoiled in the synopsis too.
Shh. Uh,
What?
Marilyn runs back out, and we don't know her name yet, but I started using it because I saw the name when I was doing the notes. Katya says Katya says the family is really starting to rub off on her because of the green face. Uh, Eddie comes jumping down the stairs, quite literally, and he'll do it again later. I'll point it out. You can hear him.
Mhm.
Last time she saw him, he was being potty trained. And Eddie proudly says it worked. He hasn't gone in the house in years. Eddie, you're going to get an indecent exposure charge, dude.
Yeah.
Uh,
Eddie seemed a little off in this episode, so like in this scene because he has his shirt tucked in, and it's like the first time we've
I
seen
didn't
him.
notice.
Yeah, we saw him. He has like a tie dye shirt on, and he tucks it in as he's running down the stairs and stuff. And I'm like, it just looked off because I haven't. Every other episode, it's been like just flailing around because he's in that whole like almost punk look, you know. So it was interesting to see. Not interesting, but like it took me by surprise. It definitely stuck out to me. All right. Um. Also,
Let's see. Herman comes in now. Oh, go ahead.
I, oh yeah, no, it's right here. I'm right. You're right. You're right. Keep going.
Okay. Herman now comes out, shocked to see her. He thought she was on a fasting experience in India. She says, "Who can find God on an empty stomach?" So she left after 3 days. Lily, she got something to say.
I'm just. It goes to Marilyn. I am confused if Marilyn is now like just become the Munsters' daughter rather than their niece
Maybe they adopted her.
because like she calls this woman grandma, but in the first season we learned that this version of Marilyn is actually related to Herman on Herman's side.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, she calls Grandpa
S-
Grandpa.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Grandpa lives with them all the time. And Herman
Yeah,
even calls Grandpa Grandpa.
yeah.
And it's kind of like Grandpa's been in probably in her life the whole
I mean,
time. So
to
it's
me,
like
it's
her
like
grandpa.
family friends being called uncles and aunts. It's just honorary title.
I never called my cousin's grandparents grandpa. unless they were like,
Or what if they were around more than your grandparents?
my actual grandparents, like the cousins that had like my cousins that I have that are related to me. We have same grandparents, but then we also have different grandparents because different, parents. I would never have called. I don't even think I've ever met my cousin's other grandparents, to be honest. But that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, I don't know. It just caught me off guard, like, because I started realizing, like, the way, especially in this episode, that the way that they are treating Marilyn, it kind of seems more like she's the daughter versus the niece now. And you never really see them say that she's a niece anymore either.
No, no, they
So
don't.
I'm gonna keep an eye out on that and see if any lines come up later on moving
Yeah.
forward.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. Lily mentions, you always give up on stuff too early. Catch is like, no, I don't. So Lily's, you insisted on giving birth to me prematurely, lady. All right.
That was only so she could be a Gemini.
Yeah. Which means that her birthday has to fall sometime between May 21st and June 20th, by the way. So she's a spring person.
Which does that fall under like a solstice?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I hear different. Some people consider the start of winter to be solstice,
Yeah.
whereas I kind of consider the halfway point where the days start getting longer, which is never the first day of winter.
Let's see here. Uh yeah, because there's like, I mean, spring is a big like,
It's
we're
3
not gonna
months.
dive into it. We're not gonna dive into it. Because there's a lot of like pagan celebrations that you like talk about with like why she wanted to have Lily at that point because of their mystical darkness and stuff like that. That yeah,
The fact that she wanted her early to be a Gemini makes me think it has to be in the later half of June, or at least the midpoint around the 20th.
yeah.
Just using my common sense reasoning.
What the heck? There's a Gemini. Okay, never mind. The first time I googled Gemini and it's freaking
Jet Force
like,
Gemini.
no, the first thing that comes up is a freaking chat bot. I'm like, what?
Oh, that doesn't shock me. Gemini is a good name for a program.
But Genesis was not a good name for Skynet. Um,
No.
so it's May 20th through June 20th. So yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah,
yeah,
which is why I think she has to be in the June section.
yeah, 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 definitely. The sun transitions this sign between about May 21st and blah 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 blah.
Midsummer. Excuse me.
Okay. Anyways,
So she brings gifts for the kids.
yes, she
Uh,
does.
she, she gives Eddie a shrunken head, and he's like, "Hey, who was it?" The village shrink. Who else would it be? Duh. So they killed him. Uh,
Yeah,
a
and then
nose ring.
oh, go
Oh
on.
god.
Uh,
I was just saying. You just go.
it was a giant ring, and Marilyn's like, "Well, isn't there supposed to be two?" And she's like, "Well, not for your nose, silly." Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the giant like circular nose ring, which I understand what it's supposed to be, but they're a lot thicker. They're not that thin. The ones
Yeah.
that they put in their nose there. Yeah.
What's great is she turns around and says, "Look, I got a nose ring," and Eddie's like, "Can I borrow that?"
Right.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because when he's in werewolf form, he'd look like a real punk werewolf with it in.
She then hands some pointy thing to Lily that's apparently for hats. I've seen them before. I just don't know why anyone would use them because it looks
It's
like
for
a stab your
hats.
head.
I thought it was for like a bit, like to do something with your hair.
No, it's for hats. But she also said you could use it for kebabs.
Yeah,
Uh,
because Lily's
her,
ever worn a hat, right?
yeah. Well, she gets a new look this episode that is very different than anything we've seen before.
Yeah,
Herman feels left out, but she made a doll specifically for him. He's like, "No, I'm too old for a doll." She's like, it's a voodoo doll.
yeah.
He laughs until she stabs the butt with Lily's pointy thing. Uh, and
Y-
Herman's like, "Yeah, give me that."
You notice the voodoo doll has the same color coat on that Herman's wearing at that moment too, which is
Yeah.
shocking because I'm like, how do you know Herman's got a different colored coat now?
Also, why did she get a voodoo doll made specifically for him? Does she not like him?
Grandpa doesn't, so why would she?
Maybe they have common ground here. Uh,
Yeah.
so she's like, "All right, where's my husband?" At that line, I'm like, "Oh my god, they're still married."
350 years later. So clearly this
Yeah.
version of grandpa doesn't have all those extra wives buried in the backyard.
Nope. He's actually not as like he's faithful. We'll get to that. Uh,
Yeah.
or just
Oh,
depressed.
or maybe he does have like other wives buried in the backyard, but every time she came to visit and he dipped out, she would kill them.
Doesn't seem like that type of person.
Mm,
Uh, so
that's the best cover.
Grandpa
It,
comes up from the lab.
yep.
I know it doesn't make sense with the character.
All right, Grandpa comes up from the lab and sees the sees his what's her name again? I can't. It's
Gotcha.
Katja. It's
Yeah,
such a
she
weird.
says something to the effect of, "I can't wait to see the look on his face when he sees me."
Yeah. Oh.
What's he do? He,
And
he
he
comes
he
up.
puts his comes up and puts his fingers up in the cross.
He makes the weirdest of grimaces at first too. He's like,
Yeah.
"Arr." Yeah, puts a cross and then heads back down on the lap.
Yep. Yep. Grandpa's awesome right here. And then he runs back down and
Grandpa's
then
always it doesn't matter who plays him. He's This character is just there's something about him. It brings out
yeah.
the best in the actors that take the role.
Oh yeah. Then we go he dips back downstairs and then we go back into or go into the basement with him where he's like packing his suitcase.
Yeah.
And so
She's
she comes down and she's like the only person I've ever seen blow like try and move the smoke out of their face and coming down into the basement. So maybe they just put it does look like they put a lot more fog in the basement in this scene this time
yeah.
around. So maybe like the fog machine just went haywire or something. I wonder if they actually used a fog machine or if they used dry ice.
That's a good question. What was cheaper back then?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Let's see. Price of fog machine in 19 we'll go 88 because that's probably when they filmed it. Now I'm
Yeah.
just thinking from Walmart. Mm, Why is there no website that just gives me the history of fog machines? All right. So she's like, "Aren't you going to say hello?" "Yeah, hello. How are you? Who cares?"
Yeah.
He's like, "How dare you show up without letting me know?" "Every time I do, you hide." Well, after 350 years, uh, she'd like to see his face. And he's like, "Well, it's the same. That's the gift of being immortal. You wrinkle very slow." Ka
Oh,
Katya tells him if he's planning to move out while she's there, uh, he'll
it's
be
gonna be
gone
a
a long
while.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
"I plan on staying a while." He's like, "Oh, I doubt that." You've never even sat in a chair long enough to cast a shadow." She's like, good dig. Uh,
I see what you did there, dig, because they're dead.
no, yeah, an unintentional joke. He's like, "You're too late. The magic's gone." She then begins talking about their first date. He's like, "Oh yeah, the roasting of Joan of Arc. I remember it.
Yeah.
They got front row seats in the no smoking section. He paid big bucks for that. It was very romantic."
It's kind of messed up, bro, when you think about it, like what they're saying.
Hmm. He's like,
Uh,
"Yeah, it was, but you snuffed out that flame long ago." Yikes.
yeah.
Grandpa is not happy. He then goes into his coffin and she tells him he can't stay in there forever. And he's, "Why not? Everyone does eventually."
Everybody does it eventually. Yeah,
Leonard
that's
is
funny.
just watching the two exchange.
Mhm.
After she leaves, he looks back and Grandpa comes out of his coffin. Grandpa's like
It
oh, by the way, his teeth begin chattering as
yeah,
well.
I was about to say, it looks like he's talking almost, but, I
Yeah,
mean, he's a skeleton, so he doesn't have a voice box, which I literally just thought of that just now, that the fact that skeletons don't have voice boxes, so they can't have voices, so whenever you see a skeleton talking in a movie, I call horse shit on it. 'Cause
it's magic.
why are these things popping in my head? Oh, because I only slept for, like, maybe 10 minutes. Got it.
So yeah, Grandpa looks at Leonard. He's like, "You don't even know the half of it."
And
And we have
then
a flashback.
another flashback, which is kinda cool. It would've been I wonder if this is
Yeah,
gonna be a constant because every time
this
they
is
do a
like the third one this season, right?
season, I
Yeah.
think so, and they do it in the black and white and go back, and we open on dun, 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 the Bates house, bro. This is the exact house from, Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho
Mm.
with Norman Bates and the Bates Motel and all that fun stuff, which they talk about later on more in the episode for people who probably didn't understand the reference of the house itself.
That's interesting. I thought they were just making a joke about another horror franchise later. What?
No,
Yeah, that's cool.
it's the house because as soon as I saw the photo, I was like, "Wait, that's what?" So, apparently, somehow, grandpa used to own the house.
Yeah.
Maybe
Also, it was a
maybe
castle, according to someone. Someone says it in this episode that what happened to the castle.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought that was kinda cool. A little, nod to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho there, guys, and we get a couple more, like, well, 1 or 2 more later on towards the
Yeah.
end too. Alright,
Sorry about that. Yeah, he walks up to the door. He finds a note that Katya left him. It says there's got to be more to life instead of ironing capes and mopping dungeons. And it sounds like Grandpa's a very boring husband. Uh,
mhm.
you got to go out and do stuff, dude. And we go back to the present, and
Do
Leonard
you though?
gives
Do you though? Like, do you? Like,
yes,
do you?
yes.
I could do so much at my house though. That doesn't include going to, like, a midnight party of an album drop.
But I hope that wouldn't be at your house.
Uh,
By the way,
anyway.
somebody caught me at this party. So if you look through random freaking Taylor Swift midnight party pictures throughout the world, I am in one of them.
Yeah, you look
I,
so happy too. You
oh,
look
dude,
like
I
you're
was
so
so
excited to
tired.
be there.
I was so tired. I go to
Uh,
bed at 8:30.
yeah, it's funny.
Uh,
You showed me
so
that picture, I was like, "Oh, man, you look so happy. Cool."
yeah, conveniently Victoria's behind a pillar too, so you can't even see her. So it's
Oh, that
just me
sucks.
standing around with a bunch of children off to the side. That
Children?
yeah, they were like 12 or 13 or something. Victoria was trading bracelets with them.
Wasn't it a school night? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Ridiculous,
Oh,
ridiculous.
dude,
Anyways,
someone brought their toddler, but anyway. Ah,
yeah. All right, go on.
yeah,
So then
so
we
we're back
go.
at the present.
Yep.
Leonard hands a hanky to him for Grandpa to wipe his eyes, and it's a little emotional with the music playing.
Yeah.
And then we
And
get, yeah, you go right ahead with
oh,
this
th-
Lily
th-
scene.
then we go back to upstairs where Lily is folding some laundry, and all that fun stuff. And then what does she find in the laundry? The Herman doll, which if I don't think if we mentioned is a voodoo doll. So we have a Herman voodoo doll where
Oh
his
yeah,
hair is like standing up straight, and then Herman comes walking out with his hair like saying all straight up and everything. This is the
he
Dragon
just
Ball reference.
he looks so unamused. He just walks in like, "This is my day."
Yeah. He's like, it was fine. It was fine until the dryer cycle.
Yeah, your washing wasn't so bad, but the dryer got very annoying.
So I want to know how this looked for him.
I imagine he just kept bumping into invisible walls, like.
Yeah. Uh,
Also,
but
he he didn't drown in the washing machine,
dolls can't drown.
but he can. He
Yeah.
he's in a he's in there with like some blankets and stuff, which means he's basically being waterboarded.
Yeah, but he's
Hub.
that assumes that Herman actually has to breathe oxygen.
That's true. Yeah, I think we brought that up in a previous episode.
And that's assuming that like Herman doesn't have gills too. Just
Yeah, we don't
saying.
know where his neck comes from. Anything's possible. He was
Anyways,
part werewolf in the original show, so uh,
yeah, yeah. Now Grandpa comes or Herman snatches the doll away as Lily's laughing about it now. And
I
Grandpa
hate this.
walks up. Yeah. Grandpa walks up. He's saying something. I don't remember what he was saying.
Out. He's like, "Yeah, where's your mother?"
Yeah. And then he
And then
looks over and like shocked by Herman's face or Herman's hair.
he's like, "Where's your bed?" It just stops and stares at her for a good moment.
Yeah.
That was so good. She's out shopping with Marilyn. Uh, but why have you been avoiding my mom all week?
Yeah.
It's like, can't you just come around more? He's like, I will when she leaves. Herman reminds him that she's going to be staying a while. She just ordered a queen size coffin. And Grandpa's like, she did? Look,
He kind of treats her like certain people would in like sitcoms treat like the in-laws when they come to visit almost.
honestly, you should, once we get into, because Grandpa will get into it for the first time ever, he's going to
Yeah.
emotionally break. He's got a very good reason for acting this way too, and I
Oh
do
yeah.
not blame him
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
Definitely.
Uh, but he's like, Look, don't trust her. The longest she's ever stayed anywhere is at the DMV renewing her license."
It's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Um, and then she walks in the door with a few bags in her hand and introduces the new Marilyn. And this is where what Frank said actually comes into play, I think, a little more with like how they were making her lose weight and stuff. Which is weird because in the first season she was fine, dude. Like not like, oh my god, she's fine, but like she was fine. Like I
She
didn't
looked like a
think that
normal
she
person.
yeah. I mean, she still does look normal here, but she does come in wearing this like skimpier,
Very
like kind of
revealing,
outfit. Yeah, very revealing in the
which is
midsection area.
weird considering she's still a teenager.
I mean, have you seen what teenagers wear nowadays?
I know, it's just the fact that two grown men decided this was a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, clearly she wasn't a teenager though, as an actress, right? Because
No, but we're talking about the character here.
right, the character. Yeah, that's Hollywood for you. They don't really
Yeah,
think about those things.
yeah, but
And then Marilyn walks in and she does like a little like
Vanna
courtesy
White
lap.
spin.
Yeah, to show off her new look and everything, and Grandpa's just like, what the fuck,
Yeah, Lily
basically.
not happy, and
Yeah,
Herman goes or Katja's like, "What do you think?" And Herman's like, "I think you need to take Lily shopping," which is a creepy, creepy line.
yes, very.
And this is the point where you hear the thud, thud, thud. Eddie is
Yeah,
hopping down the stairs one step at a time, off screen.
yeah. And then we get him like shown jumping off the last step. But now he's
Yeah,
wearing a giant, big, baggy shirt too that almost goes down to his knees. So this is why I was like, that first one is just very off-putting because the
yeah. Are
shirt
we
was
gonna
stuck
have
to him.
an Eddie watch every episode where we just talk about his clothes?
Yes,
Eddie watch 2024.
why not?
But Katya calls her old dress so outdated, and Grandpa's like, "I bought that for her birthday."
Right.
And Eddie's just looking between them, and he's got this excited look on his face, like, "Fight, fight."
Yeah. Eddie wants people to either fight or something else real fast in this. So it
Yeah.
gets weird. Yeah.
Herman's like, "I'm gonna go water the weeds," and Lily's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go help." And Marilyn's like, "I'm gonna head to the football practice," and Eddie's like, "I'm gonna go too." And Grandpa's like, "No, you're not."
I was confused by that one too. Like what is wh- why does Eddie want to go with her all of a sudden real fast?
To get out of the place, probably.
Okay.
Because I thought for a second too. I'm like, is it? But I'm like, no, the tone and stuff. I think he just wants to get out of the way.
Yeah. I was a little confused by it myself. I was like, is he wait, are they trying to nah, I don't
Paul
know.
Bundy. Uh,
Ugh. Anyway.
yeah. So
Maybe that is why they tried to make Marilyn more risque and stuff, I guess, because like you just said Bundy, so like Married with Children was going on. You
yes,
had
that was my exact vibe with that and Beavis and
yeah.
Butthead. I feel like influenced this a lot.
Mm.
But yeah, Grandpa's like, no, 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 no. It's time for your next dice lesson. I'm like, oh my god, he's teaching this child gambling. Let's go.
Well, I mean, he's got to learn to gamble properly, right? I mean, after the episode with the devil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, remember what I taught you? Blow on them 3 times and lean into it.
Yeah.
And Katja laughs, saying, who does that anymore? What you got to do is shake them behind your ear and throw them real hard. And Grandpa's like, what moron taught you that? She says Pete Rose. Now, Pete Rose is a person I very much had to look up, but apparently he had a nickname of Charlie Hustle. He was a baseball manager who was known for gambling issues between 85 and 86
Yeah.
and betting on baseball in 87, which if you're a manager, you can't bet on baseball. There's kind of a conflicting interest there. Uh, he became ineligible to coach after getting caught and then tried to come back in 92
Mm.
and ran into more betting problems because he was living in Vegas at that point, which is not where anyone with addiction should be.
Right.
Uh,
With any kind
and
of addiction.
yeah, he was also banned from being in the Hall of Fame in 1991. And as of 2022, he is still fighting that ban to get his name in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So that I fell down a rabbit hole learning about this guy.
You know who Pete Rose was?
No.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like base. I got paid to watch it and I fell asleep. So
All right.
yeah, so Eddie tries out Grandma's technique and he gets an excellent role. He asks Grandpa, or I wrote the wrong. I have grandpa written here where it should be grandma. He asked his
Yeah.
grandma how she knew that. She's like, I've always been really good at the dice. That's how I met grandpa here. I won him in a crab game. Eddie then tells grandpa he needs to start taking lessons from her. And he's like, oh, there ain't nothing she can teach me. How about forgiveness? He gives her a look that should make anyone run. It's like, you want to talk forgiveness.
Yeah.
So we get later on. Lily's sitting at the table and can't believe her mom is cooking. And Katja's like, well, I used to cook all the time when you were younger. Lily's like, no, you didn't. You thawed.
Yeah. You never cooked, you thought it.
Yeah. I see you brought out Grandpa's favorite dish, leeches and cream. Lily is so excited. They haven't had it in years. You just can't find good leeches in the States.
Oh
Uh,
God.
she's like, yeah, I smuggled them out of Tibet. You have no idea what I had to do to get them out. But thankfully, the inspector was young and cute.
Oh God.
This
They have a
episode.
they have a lot of references
Innuendos?
in this episode for sure. And some of
This
them
is
aren't
that
even
horny episode.
references. Yes, very. Um very. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma
I-
slept with the customs agent, right? Like
yes.
or did like the Monica
Oh,
Lewinsky or something? Like that's my new words
oh
for
boy.
it.
Yeah, Katja's hoping that this food will end the feud between them. And Lily's like, well, good luck with that. He's basically living for grudges now. It's very true. Uh,
Yeah.
so Grandpa comes up and he's looking at the table. Katja's like, hey, I made you some food. And I gotta
She
say, this actress, she gets into like the
dude,
facial expressions here and other scenes.
it got creepy though.
Oh, she's got such a creepy smile and it works so well.
Like if my wife did that, I would not eat the food.
She looks
Would
like a serial killer.
I would think she's gonna kill me. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Grandpa's like, no.
There've been times where I've said stupid things, and then like the next minute I know like my wife just like somehow made me something, and I'm like, I'm not eating that. I am not stupid.
I know you have laxatives in the house.
Oh
So, Grandpa, who never ever turns down free food, begins walking closer to the table. I'm not hungry, staring at it.
mm.
Lily's like, I'm going to go upstairs if you need me or if you
And
need
there,
anything. And Grandpa's like, hey, how about a gun?
yeah,
So, Katja's like, hey, I made him with the leeches bloated like you like. And she
yeah,
convinces him to eat like a little against his wishes, but actually he's
he loves
oh
it.
oh. She's like, well, is it as good as you remember? No. So she
I
leaves to get him some moldy bread. Oh, go ahead.
the bowl looks like their basic bowl of their mashed potatoes that they always have at the dinner
Oh,
table.
I have this exact casserole bowl.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, it just like it doesn't even look like I guess leeches and cream. It doesn't look like anything in cream. It just looks like mashed
Mashed
potatoes
potato.
again.
It does, yeah.
It's very
Uh,
thick. Very, very thick.
mhm. So she leaves to get moldy bread, and he sneaks another bite. She comes back out, puts the bread. She's like, "Oh, I also got you some petroleum jelly." And she leaves, and he like reaches over, starts eating some more, and she catches him this time.
How does one bake moldy bread? Is I assume the bread's already moldy and then they put it in the oven?
Maybe, or it's just already pre-made bread that's been sitting out, and you warm it up.
Okay. Anyways.
It's a good way to get hallucinating. That's how Beowulf was became a story. Bodhi bread.
All right, so she comes back in and notices Grandpa is just smashing the bowl, and she finally catches him.
Yeah. She's like, all right. What do you want from all this, lady? She's like, I want us to get back together. And this floors him. Say, what now?
Yeah.
You're out of your damn mind. Why would I ever want to get back with you? You're the reason I went gray early in my 400s. And she's like,
Before his 400s, before his 400s, yeah.
yeah. She's like, all right, look, fine. Okay, just do me one thing. He's like, why? Because if you don't, I'm never ever going to leave. You're reading a
Yeah.
mystery novel, I'll ruin the ending. You're doing a crossword puzzle, I'll already have finished it in ink. When you're dead tired, you're going to find some wet pantyhose hanging in your coffin. And there's the creepy smile comes back like, I'll make your life hell. This lady is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so
She should have stayed as a
anyways,
regular.
yeah. So she basically all she wants is one date, just one date, but there's a catch. Grandpa has to be nice.
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
just has to be.
he's finally name your price. Date sounds cheap enough.
Yeah.
So he's just concerned about how much this is going to cost him.
Yeah. So they end
You
up
have to
going
be
out.
nice. I am nice,
Yeah. I
and
am.
I
Yeah, he
believe
says
him.
it's so angry too.
No,
Yeah.
I honestly believe him with that voice because I'm like, oh good God, you're keeping back a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're on their date, and he definitely goes cheap with it. They go to his local watering hole where he's a regular anyway.
Mhm.
Did I tell you we're becoming a regular at the Cinco de Mayo by my house?
Nice. Uh-oh.
Did you freeze? Or you
No,
just
you
sitting there?
froze.
No, you
There you
didn't.
go.
Okay. Oh, I
No,
froze. Okay.
I think
Yeah,
that's the
dude.
one that my parents probably go to that same one that you go to, so you might
Oh
see them
yeah.
there every
Yeah.
so often. Yeah.
Maybe they were packed yesterday. We would go in there. We've been getting the same waitress. I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna have to start tipping her more because literally we sat down. She just brought us our drinks that we usually ask for. She's like, "You gonna get your usual appetizer to start with?" Yes, we are.
Ugh. After going to Italy, I just wanna, like, not tip, but I don't wanna be that dick to the waiters and stuff, because it's not their fault
Well,
that the place that
no,
doesn't
our
pay them
system is
properly.
fucked.
Yeah. Like, I always see people complaining about the whole tipping thing, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I understand what the whole process is. It's for the company not to have to pay out
The,
more, I mean, it's
you,
bullshit, but at the same time, I can't be mean to the server just because I have a grudge against the company doing something shitty."
I am sick of every company now asking for a tip. And
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way, if you give a tip electronically, just know that company is keeping over 50% of that tip. That is not a joke. I cannot tell you how I know this because it'll get someone in trouble, but they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everywhere you go now, it's like you go to, like, a Subway or, like, a ice cream place, I'm like, "Y'all get paid your right
Yeah.
a
This is
wage."
supposed to help with it was originally supposed to be like, "Hey, you did a good job. Here's a little
Yeah.
extra for you." Then restaurants took advantage of that and made it
Yeah.
part of their wage, which is
Well
bullshit.
well, yeah, the restaurants made it so that they didn't have to pay their employees more, so that it was put on to us as the consumer to make sure that they were getting their wage properly. And
Yeah, which
and
is such bull.
and I understand, like, I get, like, some people will be like, "Well, you should get paid based on your work ethic." I'm like, "Okay, then how come you don't get paid like that?" The only
Yeah.
people that ever get paid based on, like, their actual, like, skill work or at their work ethic, I guess you would say,
It's
is
trades.
and not even, it's just the waiters. That's it. They're the only people that really get paid,
Yeah.
like, almost 100% based on that, and strippers, I mean, so, it's like, you know,
But yeah,
I don't,
it's insane. This is a sore spot for me. I've never worked in the restaurant
but
business, but I can't. There's so
if
many freaking loopholes in America that are so
yeah.
stupid when it comes to pay. Like it's restaurants and then wrestling. Those are the two things
Mhm.
that annoy the hell out of me because we have
Yeah.
these laws in place that all of a sudden these are just random loophole gray spots where they're like, we're just
Mhm.
going to turn a blind eye to it. No, fucking do your job.
Well, it's a lot of different places too. I remember when I was going through the training and stuff for pro wrestling, and like when you find out like I mean, I knew a lot of it already going in, like how you have to pay for your own insurance and all that crap. I get that, and your travel. So if you're just starting out and you're not like in signed with one of the bigger companies, like a WWE training facility or anything like that, dude, you're getting paid maybe $50 a night, and you still have to pay for insurance, your travel, your hotel, all that crap.
It's not even that we are so off top. This isn't even
Yeah.
spun off of
Anyways,
something from but it's the fact that they have these contracts that lock them in as employees,
yeah,
but then they don't count as employees. That's why you
it's like a
enforce this with every other sports related thing, and I know
yeah,
they're more entertainment than actual competition, but it's still sport. It's a sporting thing. You are physically
yeah.
putting on a show
They're
for everyone.
they're still athletic. I would say a lot of the wrestlers are more athletic than actual like people out there on the basketball court or football field, 100% because they're doing it way more,
Oh,
almost
they're
every
using
day
way
of the
more
week.
muscles. Yeah.
They're doing it almost every day of the week too. And, I mean, yeah, they're going out there for what, like 5-10 minutes or whatever, depending on the match. Some of them go longer, but still, they're doing it every day of the week. People don't realize just because they're not on TV, they're still working.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they do house shows. They do practice runs for the
yeah.
TV tapings.
Plus all the PR and crap that they have to go through and do and all that fun stuff. Anyways,
We are so
but
off topic.
yeah.
Yeah, he takes her to a bar that he's a regular.
E End of the thing, though, main thing, we should try to work our country away from having to tip because it's not fair to us and it's not fair to the people who get paid that way. When I was in
And if you're
Italy, it was
going to
great,
tip
so
anyone, especially at jobs where they get paid normal, do it
mhm,
in cash. You don't
yes,
got cash, don't do it. All you're doing is giving the company itself more money.
yeah. Well, it's kinda like when you do your donations through the companies, they're just
Oh
giving a
yeah,
big tax write-off,
they get the tax write-off.
but, I mean, you shouldn't
Yeah.
really
Capitalism.
that one I'm 50-50 on because it's like, yeah, most of these people aren't gonna actually make the donation themselves, so might as well.
Mhm.
But at the same time, the company's just taking all of our money and getting their big tax write-offs. Anyways, grandpa comes on into the bar.
Yeah. So I hope you like the place I picked. And she's like, I'm not sure about it. He's like, oh, we get our fair share of famous people in this place. Look over there. There's one now. And she's like, I can't see anyone. Yeah, that's the point. It's the invisible man.
It's the
And I'm like,
invisible
he's back.
man. Yeah. I was like, dude, so within 20 years, the invisible man went from being the Munster chauffeur to being like a famous celeb now.
Yeah. It's
I
still
don't, I don't
crazy
know if
how
you
no
caught
one
that in my if you caught that in my synopsis, but yeah.
I did. It's crazy to me how many people forget the fact that there was another member of the household that no one could see in those early episodes of the original
Yeah.
show.
Well, he used to drive them around, and again, we weren't sure if it was like the Invisible Man or a ghost. We weren't really sure. That was never made clear. But he used
Mhm.
to
He
drive them
played
around.
checkers.
pl- Yeah, played chess or checkers with Grandpa. So it wasn't like you know, yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
Grandpa takes her to a table and pushes her chair in, asking if she needs change for the restroom. So this place charges to use the bathroom. And she's like, not yet.
uh,
She
they
asks if
do
he
that
comes.
in Italy.
Do they?
Not for the restaurants, but like if you want to use like the public restrooms and stuff, you have to put like a token in or whatever so that you can go in because it pays for the bathrooms to stay clean.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, it's kind of like toll roads here in Ohio.
Yeah.
It helps
Yeah.
keeps our roads from looking like Michigan. Uh,
It actually makes sense too, because then it's not just like a bunch of crackheads going in there and like trashing the place up, you know.
yeah, there's that too.
So
But also, when you have an emergency, you kind of like. mm. Anyway,
yeah, so
she's like,
grandpa
"You
pushes
come
her
here,
in the seat.
yeah, you come here often."
Yeah,
"Mm,
somewhat.
yeah." "Mm, it's a nice place to come, have a few drinks, share some stories."
Yeah.
"Ah, kind of stories you tell about me?"
Oh,
"Now,
nothing.
look, I acknowledge I have some rather strong feelings about you, but give me some credit for not airing them in public, okay?"
Right. And then the waiter comes over and he knows Vlad. Clearly he knows Vlad.
Mhm.
Now I'm using his real name.
Everyone
Damn it.
knows Vlad. They all call him
Everybody.
Vlad in this scene.
Yeah. And he introduces her by
Yeah.
name, and
Gotcha.
they he stops, the waiter stops, everybody else in the
Every
bars just stops, or
It
club,
looks
diner, whatever this is supposed to be,
the bar.
and they all just stop and look over at him, and he's like, "Wait, the dragon lady from hell who ripped out your heart and ate it for breakfast?"
It's nice to meet you too. Yeah. So the waiter puts down uh 2 glasses and a bottle. He's like, "Hey, if you need anything, just signal for me."
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, "I got you your favorite drink. It's a night eight, or I'm sorry, an 1837 sparkling turpentine." She's like, "Oh, that's wonderful. Were they out of the 1858?"
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about a toast?
Yeah.
She's
He's
like,
and
"Oh, to
he's
us."
Vlad is trying, or grandpa is trying to be so nice here.
Yeah.
He
Oh, yeah.
and
This scene starts with her saying, "Look, you're taking the nice thing too a little far." He's
a
like,
little too far, yeah.
"I'm nothing but nice. I keep my promises."
Which he is keeping his promise, which I yeah, definitely. That's a
Yeah,
good
and
that's a good trait to have, grandpa.
he toasts. He's like, "To the sweetest, most stable, most reliable woman a man could ever want," with the most disgusted face. Like he is doing so many backhanded
Oh, yeah.
compliments.
Grandpa is perfect, and it's so, once we get into it, it's so justified too.
Oh yeah, this is where she says, "Like you're taking it a little far, aren't you?" He's like, "I keep my promises." Have I mentioned how
Yeah.
beautiful you looked the day you walked out on me?
Yeah. Oof.
And then did she just call him Florence Henderson in this scene?
I don't I didn't write that down, no, I don't know.
I didn't get that reference because it's a Brady Bunch reference. I know that, but I don't understand.
He call her that?
No, she called him that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. If somebody could explain that to my tired brain, please do so. So she's like, "Look, I
Yeah.
release you from your promise. Just say what you want. I can take it." He's so he goes, "All right,
Don't
let's
do it. Don't do it, grandpa.
full auto here. We had plans
Yeah.
to have a family together, do normal family stuff, have feeding frenzies under the full moon, vacation at all the best bogs, invest in local blood banks." And she's like, "Look, I always hated how you wanted to plan everything out.
Yeah.
Besides, you knew how I was or who I was when you married me." And he counters with, "Yeah, but that day we made a deal with each other, a commitment. He thought she would have lived up to it."
It's very true.
She's like, "Would it help
So
if I say sorry?"
that's kind of one of the worst things in a relationship to say is, "You knew who I was when you married me." So what you're saying is you don't change ever as a human being. You'll never change, is what you're
Mhm.
saying. Like, we all change. What you are literally saying in this moment, woman, is, "Yeah, I'm that way, and that's who I am, and I'm never changing for anything. And I'm just like, wow, not even for love, huh? This
Hmm.
guy who is pouring his heart out to you, and yeah, it's sad,
Yeah,
man. And there's
and
lots of stories too in like, I don't wanna say Hollywood, but in, like, media where it's usually the guy that's falling head over heels for the lady like this, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm not changing for you," kinda stuff. It's always the
yeah,
guy that has to change, and it's an issue, I feel, which I think has gone for so long that it's gone into the real world, There's so many kids these days are just like, I don't have to change for my man. I don't have to change for this person that I supposedly love, or and the vice versa. Men who think that they don't have to grow and change and stuff like that too. So,
yeah,
I mean, I still
and
collect toys, but
yeah.
I have changed a lot since I've been married.
Oh, everyone does. But she's like, "Would it help if I just say I'm sorry?" He's like, "You can try." So she
Yeah,
says sorry. Didn't
he's like,
help.
didn't help. And he did this the other day too on the
Yeah, with Sam.
Sam on the computer. Yep. Yeah.
You left me with a little girl, coffins to clean, and a huge castle payment every month. Lily deserved better.
Yeah. Dude, that hit hard when I heard him say that. I was like, "Dang." Like, this is a spot that got serious for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Katya says, "Look, I've regretted it ever since." And Grandpa counters with, "You want me to let you off the hook? No way I can ever no way I can ever forgive you for what you did to me. I wish you never came back. I wish I never had to see you again. I wish you could feel some of the suffering I felt."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Is there anything else?" And he's like, "Yeah, I still love you." And she loves him. And we get this weird shot of her smiling at him, but him grimacing at her.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty emotional. So, like, clearly, he's still hurt over her leaving. He still has these feelings that he never worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
another one too, is like, it's been so long. Granted, in their reality, it's been even longer than what it could for us. But at the same time, for grandpa too, I feel like there comes a point where you just have to cut your losses, I guess you would say, and be like, "All right, I'm no longer going to be this bitter person because of what this other person did to me." And
mhm,
what she did was bad too, and I'm not gonna say that that's right, but there's also that point in your life where you just gotta be like, "I can't be like this because of the actions of someone else." So,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a little deep with this because 'cause I'm too tired.
Well, no, this is a good episode for this because this is actually
Ugh.
dealing with abandonment shit
Yeah,
and mixed feelings and
yeah,
resentments
yeah, yeah,
and closure. We're gonna get to the closure part, but we get back to the house where Lily, I think, is playing a game of Hungry Hippo with the kids. Hungry Hippos. Is that,
I I have to stop it. I don't think it's closure that we get by the end of this, but we can
well,
get into
no, I
that.
think there is. Well, okay, yeah, we'll get into it. Um,
Alright, but yeah, so, we go back to the house where Lily and them are playing. It looks like a Hungry Hippo type game. Uh,
Lily is in this black dress with braided hair.
yeah, very, Morticia Adams look, almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and she's like, "Where are my parents at?" So they begin speculating, well, maybe she changed his mind. Maybe he forgave her. And then Eddie
yeah.
throws in, maybe he's scoring, which, dude, come on. And I love the look that Lily gives him, like, what is wrong with you?
And he the way he says it too is kinda like he doesn't know what he's saying, but you know that actor knows what he's saying.
Yeah, no, this is clear. This is where I think he gets influenced from Beavis and Butthead. Oh, gonna score. Yeah.
Come on, Beavis. God. I just hope that they drop, like, a lot of there's been, like, references to sex between like Lily and Herman throughout the show since the 80s one. But this episode, and there was another episode where they were doing it a little bit more, and I was just like, can we not do that so much? Like, I get
Mhm.
it, you're about to push into the 90s, but still, this was supposed to
Yeah.
be like a family show.
Yeah. So now we
Not
get
that I'm
back
a prude or anything, but still.
we get back to the bar where Vlad
Yeah.
is buying drinks for the house. He asks her, he's like, "Hey, so have you seen anyone else?" And she's like, "Oh, let's not bring that up." And he says, "No, no, no, I can take it." I'm like, "Dude, no, seriously, don't, no."
This is a question no guy should ever ask ever, because
This is
they
a
just
question
can't take
nobody
it.
should ever ask.
You just can't handle. It's like being with like finding a new spouse in like your mid 30s or something and being like, "Well, how many guys have you been with?" You don't want to know. Like, because if it's more than you, then there's always going to be some, I don't know. Watch Chasing Amy. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
'Cause I know so many guys that have had that whole Chasing Amy moment, which if you've never seen the movie, it's basically the guy finds out the girl was a lot more experienced than he was at that point.
Mm.
And that she had done stuff with multiple people sometimes at the same time. So and it drove him crazy, which almost, it did cost him the relationship by the end of the movie. Really. So anyways, good Kevin Smith movie. That's like one of my favorite
It's the
Kevin Smith movies.
only View Askew movie I haven't seen.
It's one of my favorite ones, to be honest. It's actually pretty good. It's not like a lot of
That's the one
uh
Weinstein owns, right?
no, he has Dogma.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
he's got the rights to Dogma. Yeah. Yeah. Chasing Amy is good. I recommend it to
Yeah.
people. Um anyways, so yeah, we're
Yeah, he's like, hey, you got. By the way, this is a question, not just guys. No one should look at a certain age. You should know people have history.
yeah.
Just don't think about it.
So it sucks because for me and my wife, we were friends since we were 15, so we kind of knew all this stuff about each other beforehand. So we didn't really have to ask. We already knew what we were getting into with that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Katya says, oh, maybe one or two a year, and he's like, oh, that's not so. We've been apart for 350 years. She
That's a
then she's like,
lot.
well, what about you? What about you? Have you found anyone? He's, oh, no, you don't worry about it. I would. She's like, oh, I bet there's been quite a few. He's like, I wouldn't say that. Well, what would you
Yeah.
say? I spent the last 350 years alone, which is
Yeah.
not
He
true, by the way. We saw him with a girlfriend.
Grandpa looks around and see if other people are listening to him and stuff. And what I think is by this, he means that like he hasn't made love with anybody at that
Hmm.
point by that
Yeah,
within the
because
350 years.
she laughs at him and says, no wonder you're so cranky, which
Yeah.
is both hurtful and hilarious at the same time.
Right.
She asks, like, hey, you remember when we vacationed in Bucharest? He's like, how did I forget? We never left the hotel room. And she's like, well,
Yeah.
hey, I know a place we can, or I know where we can, I know just the place to top this evening off. And Grandpa gets the widest of smiles.
So in my notes here, I wrote Vlad's been alone for 350 years. No wonder you're so damn cranky. Okay, it all makes sense now, especially when I know I get cranky after just a week if it gets that far.
They return to their old house. She asks who
Dun,
he sold
dun,
it to.
dun.
Oh, a
Yeah.
nice young fella and his mom. They opened a motel.
Yeah.
So she says,
Nice
she
Bates
has,
Motel reference.
yeah, yeah. That's where I got it. I'm like, oh, Mike's gonna love that. I didn't realize it was the same damn house.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it's the exact like set piece
Mhm.
on like the back lot or not, but it is the exact same design for sure,
Did I
100%.
tell you I ruined my wife's? She was watching that show Bates Motel.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, when is he gonna just off his mom finally?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know this is based on Psycho, right?" She's like,
She didn't
"What?"
know that?
No, she had no idea
His
about the story
last
of Norman Bates.
his name is literally Norman Bates.
Yeah, no, she had no idea that it was a prequel to a old movie.
It was actually pretty good. I didn't finish the show, but it was actually pretty good from the couple seasons I did
Yeah,
watch.
no, it was pretty good. And
Yeah.
then the actor went on to play a doctor, and I'm like, all I could see is a serial killer. Uh,
He's not a serial killer. He has a disease, first of all, sir. You can't control what your brain no, I'm not even gonna spend that shit. But there are
I'm
people
trying
out
to
there that will.
remember the name of your favorite show, and I can't remember now with the killer. Uh,
Dexter?
Dexter. There we go.
It's not my
Dexter's Lab.
fa
Yeah.
it's not my favorite show, but yeah, it's a good show.
Anyway, yeah, she's like, I have so many plans for us together. She's like,
Mhm.
he tells her, look, let's just live for the moment, and then they kiss. And
Party Boys style.
the camera pans up to a woman moving the curtain. Norman, is that you?
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe your wife didn't know that was based on Psycho.
Yeah.
That's
Then
amazing.
I felt bad that I ruined the ending of the show for.
Well, he doesn't kill his mom. Did he kill his mom in the show?
I don't remember the ending.
Because I thought that she just died from the original movies. I thought she had just died and that he dug her body up or some crap like that. Or just didn't tell anyone that she died or something. I
I
don't
was
recall
under the
exactly.
impression that he snapped and killed her.
No, because he loves his mom.
Yeah, and then he regrets it, and that's what he snaps and becomes her.
I need to go back and watch those movies.
Hmm.
There's like
Snap.
4 of them, dude. Like you have
Yeah, there
Psychos
are.
and then like 3 others in color. And they're all the same actor too. Anyway,
So we're back at home. The family's having breakfast as Grandpa comes in dancing, and is like, he scored. And Lily gives him another look, knowing that her son has issues. Uh,
yeah. Is it
she says,
me
like,
or is their house smaller now? Because they're
I think
like
it's just this different camera angle.
because the dining table's like right in the living room.
Yeah, I think it's just a different angle.
Yeah.
Uh,
They've changed couches by the way too.
did they? I didn't notice that. Oh, mummy check.
Mummy check. Let's see here. You can't tell from
Was
this
he
angle.
present in this episode? Did you notice?
I didn't notice like a spot of him. Let's see here. Just so people know, I have it pulled up uh
Yeah, Mike has
on
it
the
playing on the background. Not for him. I can't see it because it would screw up our recording too much.
you can lightly see the mummy
Okay.
when they're in the living room, but they do that weird angle this time around in the living room, so it was hard to see the mummy. Like you see his legs just hanging in the chair.
Mm. Well, hey, at least he's still present.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lily's like, "Hey, where's mom?" And he, she went back to Transylvania to get the rest of her belongings. And Eddie's, so are you guys gonna be sharing a coffin? Wink, wink. And Grandpa, now feeling how weird it is for everyone to be invested in a relative's love life, just says, yeah, according to her, everyone
Meanwhile,
is happy to hear she's moving.
him and Eddie like a few episodes back were like stalking Lily and Herman's love life.
Yeah, they were. Eddie's so happy. He's like, "Oh, I've never had a grandma around before," and Grandpa's like, "Don't get too excited, kid. I don't think she's coming back."
Yeah.
Marilyn is confused by this. He's like, "Katja is a free spirit. She isn't one to be tied down. You know, I get that now. Eddie asks what he's gonna do now, and Grandpa just smiles and stares at the ceiling. Enjoy the memories.
Yeah.
And Eddie says, "Oh yeah, he scored." And he makes a face looking around that everyone off screen must have been staring at him, like because dude, stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
No one should be that happy to hear that their grandpa screwed their grandma. Something that we all figure happens. No one wants to talk about it or think about it.
it's it's awkward because he kept doing it, and yeah. I wonder if like the cast was actually into him saying a line, because like when you first see Lily look at him, like when they do an actual full shot of them when he says it, it kind of looks like, are we really doing this, guys? Like,
Mm,
in their that's the look she gives in their eyes. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, Lily. Like, are we
mhm.
legit like doing this? Yeah.
So now we get our last scene. Lily is reading the paper as Herman comes in laughing uncontrollably, and we get the arm jerk from the opening. I was wondering when this was going to happen. And
Mm.
Lily's like, What is so funny?" He's like, "I have no idea, but I can't stop." Go down to the lab. Grandpa has the Herman doll with a feather. Life is good.
It just tickle in the armpit. Oh
It
man.
is interesting to have Herman delegated to the background
Yeah. Yeah. It
or
was
relegated.
nice to push to the background. Just say push. He was pushed to the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. So, I'll go first if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Final thoughts. Uh, I thought this was a real good episode. As always, grandpa centric ones always rise above because I think the character is just so easy to write for.
Yeah.
Like everyone gets it, the writers, the actors, just you know what to do. It's grandpa, but we get an emotional investment in grandpa that we very lightly touched on in the original show and kind of got with the episode in season one where he got a girlfriend, where
Mhm.
he is a very lonely old man who really would like a companion, and added on the additional layers of the person he thought he was going to be spending eternity with just up and left him. Not
Yeah.
only him, but his daughter as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which I think this confirms that there's no Lester in this version, unless it's from a different parent.
From a previous wife, maybe
Yeah.
before her.
Uh, but like the bar scene, that
Mhm.
was so Morton did an amazing job bringing out an emotional depth in a character that has
Yeah.
otherwise been really known, at least by us so far, to just be kind of bored.
Yeah.
His emotion.
Well, yeah, yeah, definitely.
A-
Definitely.
and I think the ending is a nice touch because he's like he gets to talk to her about everything she did to him. She finally able to, this is why I say he gets closure. He
Mhm.
gets, you know, he can finally say the things that have been building up in him for over 300 years. And they somewhat forgive each other, and he knows like it's never going to be how he wants it to be. He's like, and you know, it's fine. He can move on without the constant thought of her in his
Right.
past, if that
Right,
makes
right.
sense.
Oh, yeah,
At least that's
definitely,
the
dude.
sense I got with it. Uh,
Getting closure in it is one of those great things too that gets over, uh, not over what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
glazed
Uh,
over.
yeah, yeah, like, it gets pushed under the rug a lot more often nowadays than anything, and it's just because people are like, "Oh, you don't need your closure. I don't care. It's about my feelings, not about your feelings in this matter." And everyone's very one-sided a lot of times nowadays to where it's
ghosting
like,
and
well, ghosting, or like even just in marriages in general, it's like sometimes you get those, like, I know people that are married, and not me and my wife. This is not be like, oh, I know a friend type thing, but like I know people that are married that have these issues to where it's like the one spouse does not care about closure or talking about these things that are going on, just because they're so into themselves. They don't give a crap. They don't care how they make you feel. And
mm,
and I've talked to this dude about it before, and I'm like, dude, you just need to like figure it out, like make her listen, or tell her it's, you either listen or I gotta go, because it's not fair to you as a person to have to struggle holding it on. And then other people will come by and be like, well, it's not fair to her or fair to this other person that you have to do an emotion dump on them to feel better. And I'm like, it depends, because they're the ones causing the issue with you. Like,
mm,
if you know, so it's this episode was really good in showing that, and showing she didn't fight back when grandpa was explaining why he was so angry and so bitter about these things. And and I think that was really well done in this episode, for sure, because of the way it was handled. It wasn't like an argument. It
mm.
was, yes, I'm here, I'm listening, tell me please so
It,
I know.
and kind of like her comments, she's like, it's like she does realize what she did to this family,
Mhm.
and that's probably why she hasn't been around for so long, or
Right,
only comes around once in a blue moon,
right.
is because she
and,
does have that regret, but also she's just not the person that he needs her to be.
Right. And clearly she does come around and sees like Lily in them, but not
Mhm.
Grandpa. This is the first time that Grandpa's finally seen her in this amount of time.
Yeah.
And
She normally
and
gives a heads up.
yeah, she gives a heads up usually, but and you think about 350 years, like she left for, we don't even know how long she actually just disappeared for, because they don't really say how long she just was out of their life
Yeah.
for, out of those 350 years. So she could have been out of their life for like 100 years and then started coming back, or like out for however long until like Herman came into the picture.
Mhm.
So she might have been only in their life recently for 50 years or so.
Yeah.
So you don't know. It's left up to the imagination, which is probably better than over explaining it all, for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Also, Herman and Lily have been married for 300 years, so that means Lily was around 50 when she met Herman.
No, because she was born before her parents split. So it'd be older. You don't know how
Yeah,
old
that's
she
true.
was.
We didn't know how old she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at minimum, she was 50.
And Dracula's might, age slower. So
Yeah,
what?
maybe.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just thinking.
You were frozen for a second on my side. Okay. Um,
Was I
is that all
froze or
you got
just
for?
thinking?
Is that all your final thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is yet another really good thinking one, and
Yeah.
it touches on a very important emotional aspect that
Yeah.
this is why I love sitcoms. They go into stuff like this that you can't get, like action. Yeah, it's great. Turn your brain
Mhm.
off. It's cool. Explosions, bright lights.
Right.
Horror, you got some elements in there, that stuff, but sitcoms touch on everyday stuff that I feel like even drama shows just don't hit the way
I
they,
I
you know.
I think the reasoning behind that is because I agree with you. Like I love sitcoms. I love me a sitcom. Um, and I think it is because in your everyday normal life, like if you're watching a drama show, it's nothing but drama. If you're
Yeah.
watching an action movie or action show or like a comic book show, for the most part, they are in their genre. Where
Mhm.
sitcoms are based the majority of sitcoms, I should say, are based within comedy realm, but they have so much reality built into them, and that's why I feel that some of them are even funnier because it's so true.
Mhm.
Like these circumstances that they get themselves into. Like, yeah, you have the generic, oh, the husband did something stupid, now he's hiding it from his wife, and now is he gonna get caught in this episode type of thing. And it's so true because it happens in reality. Like it's not anything that, oh, the wife, they're in their 30s now, and the wife is like, all right, well, we need to go on a diet plan, and the husband's sneaking like candy bars in the side room and stuff. That's reality. It's funnier because it happens. I live it. But and like seeing like especially with the Munsters right now, like these last few episodes and stuff, even the one with the devil and stuff, like
Mhm.
the emotional connection that you can get and gather just from these. And a lot of people look at these movies. I think people forget that sometimes things are done hyperbolic for a reason so that it is entertainment. But if you look at what they're telling you and the premise of the storylines in this, like this one, like you said, it's about closure. It's about getting those final words in to say, not to be like, haha, I got the final words in, but to be like, this is why I feel like this towards you. This is why I am like this. This is, you left me, you left our family, you left your daughter. And I'm
Mhm.
more bitter probably because you left your daughter than you left me,
Yeah.
you know, type of thing. So
The fact that
it's
he threw that in there, it really shows, like, because he comes across as a very selfish character, but in this one instance, he's like, "No, you look at what you did to, our
yeah,
child."
yeah. Be like, she could have married someone better if you would have been in
Yeah,
her
it's your
life.
fault she's with her. Now, earlier you were gonna contest the whole closure thing. I'm curious, what was your argument?
So, like, I guess I didn't realize what you meant by the closure part of like him, getting out the dump
Mhm,
of everything for himself. So in that aspect, yeah, I do agree with the closure part. But I also do think that in the end, him, well, I guess he let her go.
mhm.
He was able to be like, all right, this is it, you know. But was he able to do that just because he was finally able to unload and explain his feelings, or was it because he was finally able to unload and so there's that mixture there. See, we're like a sitcom. We could be serious and comedic at the same time.
And then we ruin a very good, poignant conversation. He scored.
He scored. He scored. Dude. Beavis. Oh goodness.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess like I will like, take back my stance on like, yeah, there was no closure, there wasn't real closure because there is a lot of closure for grandpa in this episode when
Mhm.
you really look at the lines he says and how she reacts to what he says. It's not like a fight back,
Yeah, she
you
doesn't
know.
get defensive at all. She knows exactly what she did.
Yeah.
She's owning up to it.
Which might also be because guys wrote this, so they're like, "Oh yeah, we want her to be quiet now."
Well, and a lot of the stereotypical stuff is the guy ends up leaving the mom with the child. The whole he went out for a pack of smokes and never came back. But
It's a
it's
very
it goes
stereotypical one,
both
yeah.
ways.
Yeah. And I think this story being how it was in the late 80s is even
Hmm.
more prevalent at that time too, because that's when, more women started getting into the workforce at the time and stuff like that. And then they were like, "Oh, crap, I can take care of myself. I don't need a man. I'm dipping. I don't then why would I want these kids to hold me back when I can do this on my own?" And there
Hmm.
were lots of women, I mean, still to this day that do that. So it's not like it's anything new nowadays, but it was
Yeah,
starting around that time frame where, when more women were entering the workforce and it was getting to that point where, there were more um motherless households, you know. at that time. Granted, a lot of the times, like, if they went through an actual divorce and stuff, the courts would automatically be like, "Here," to the moms still at that time. I think they still do it depending on
Oh,
what
they
state
still
you're in.
favor the moms today.
Yeah. But that's dependent on even if the mom even wants to be part of the kid's life, because there are
Yeah,
lots of them that just don't care.
yeah, that's pretty much the only way most guys win those court cases is because the mom just either gives up or doesn't show.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and sometimes unfortunately, you'll get some bad seeds in there where they only want the kids so that they can have some kind of hold onto the husband or the father, or
You get that
money issues.
checks.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Yeah,
not
and
saying
that's
that
when
guys
child
probably do the
services will
same
get
thing
involved.
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, there was
so,
something like that just in the past year out west. So,
yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like my final thoughts, I guess, would be I enjoyed this episode. I did think like the sexual connotations and stuff like that were a little heavy in this episode, for
the
sure.
stuff with
Especially
Eddie,
like
just
with
throw that
Eddie.
out.
Eddie keeps saying, "Oh, he scored, he scored, he scored." Which, like, I come from a very when I was a kid, anyways. I think my family's a little more they're not as open anymore. But when I was growing up, that was something that was a little more prevalent where, things were we could make those kind of jokes, about their family and stuff like that. Now I think that everyone's gotten to a certain point in their lives where it's like, "No," and then I get yelled at because I make the joke still. Uh, so, um, but for Eddie to do it, he's what, supposed to be in
Yeah,
6th grade, 5th grade? You know,
I
I
think he's a freshman.
no, he's still in
Yeah, he's
junior
a
high.
freshman.
He's in junior high, isn't
Is he?
he? I thought
Well,
he
he
was in
mentions, I wonder what it'd be like if I was a freshman in Transylvania.
oh, maybe he is a freshman now then.
Yeah.
Or maybe he meant
I
like
think
he's
he's
going
a
to be a
freshman and
freshman
Maryland
next
is a
year.
maybe. I get the impression that he's a freshman and Maryland's like a senior.
Gotcha. Okay.
For our international listeners, that's grade what is it? 9 and grade
9
12.
and 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but, yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Just, knock out a couple of the scored stuff from Eddie. It was a little
And
weird.
then the whole Maryland outfit thing from earlier with Herman's comment. I feel like
Yeah.
that I honestly feel like those jokes were told to be added in from the new producers because they're I don't know they really kind of undermine the emotional stuff and not
They and not in a
but
good way.
yeah, they try to alleviate it with jokes, but they're terrible jokes.
Mhm. Yeah. They're basic, like, MTV type jokes, basically,
Yeah,
so and they weren't that
Married with
funny at the
Children,
time. They weren't done they weren't executed
clever.
appropriately, and even in Married with Children, Al Bundy wouldn't be like, "Oh, I want my wife to dress like my daughter or my niece," or whatever. Like, Al
Yeah,
Bundy wouldn't do that. He'd be like,
no.
"Please get away from me, woman."
God, the first season of that show was so unbearable. Uh, Season 2 is a lot better, I'll be honest. Uh,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
I agree with you 100% on everything you just said.
yeah. Yeah, I liked it. So, it was a good episode. Let's see where these new people take this show,
Mhm.
moving forward since we found
Yeah,
out that it
what
is like a new producer
yeah, what'd he say
type
there was
thing.
like a strike or something, and that's when the producers changed?
Let me see
Is that
what
what he said?
because you sent me the thing. How many days ago was this?
I don't
We
know.
text we text each other way too much.
I purged my chat, so it's gone from me. I gotta look up the video.
Uh,
Alright, so yeah, they're
oh wait, there it is.
between seasons, da, 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 da.
Let's see. Number of seasons, 2 episodes before reappearing in this one was during a break between seasons. She was forced
Oh,
by
shoot. He
producers.
says that Bonnie was involved in that decision too. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, producer Patricia Fast Palmer and director Bonnie Franklin, which are 2 females, by the way. So they
Mm,
were like pushing this, which I wonder though, who told them that we probably need this.
yeah.
Um, Decisions made by OG Lloyd
The
Schwartz and
writer's
Norman
strike of
Abbott and
'89.
the decision was made after Norman Abbott, Peter Isaacson, and Schwartz all departed during the writer's strikes of '89, yeah, and were
Yep.
replaced. Yep. Unfortunately, that those are bad things. Hopefully, moving forward within Hollywood, we can start fixing more of those. I mean, there's still issues.
Oh,
I've
so many
seen
issues.
like issues with younger talent, younger than Hillary was in this, to where they're like, oh yeah, you need to do this or you need Botox. I'm like, dude, they're
Mhm.
like 12. There's no reason a 12-year-old needs Botox.
No. Yeah.
So, if
And
you want to,
it,
if you want to know those stories, just hit me up. I'm not going to put them on here because I know
it
people personally. So, yeah.
yeah. Well, it's like that new documentary everyone's talking about with that Nickelodeon thing that's on Max or whatever.
Oh, it's like not behind or behind the curtain. What the hell is it called? I don't remember.
And the slime, I don't know. Anyway, it's stuff like that. Like, first of all, fuck Drake Bell. He's a piece of shit too. But
Quiet on set. Quiet on
quiet on
set.
set, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, it needs to come out. Like people need to, but don't force them. First of all, if people
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it, but also like the people who do, like, good, get this stuff out there. Let's get because this it's happening way too much all over the place behind the
And
scenes, and there's a bunch of people out there who like to point the fingers in the wrong directions.
yeah.
And
Just
it's
just so you know too, like that first season I think is mostly Nickelodeon. I think the show is going to continue and like tackle Disney next and some of the other ones, dude.
good. Disney has the
So,
fact that they hired that dude for Powder is insane.
for what?
Yeah, the director of Powder
Oh, yeah,
after he
yeah.
was convicted.
For X-Men, right? He did X-Men, didn't he?
He did X-Men too. Brian
Thought
Singer.
so. Right? Powder movie.
Ugh. Well, we don't want to end on a sour note, but it's
Ah,
we know things need to change, and there's horrible, horrible stories out there behind the scenes for pretty much everything you love.
oh, the director of Powder was Victor Salva.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
After he was
Anyways,
convicted.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. I want to end on the note of closure, guys. If you feel like you have friends, family, anybody out there that you know have this moment of like I need closure with you guys, definitely reach out to them and talk to them. Let them hear you and why. I don't know what that was, Tivis.
I
Um,
dropped a yo-yo.
Gotcha. But definitely
I'm
do that
fidgeting.
because and if they ask why, tell them because it's only once in the blue moon that I get to say these things to you. So there we go. See what I did
Yeah.
there.
It's always a good idea to
um,
reach out to friends and family, though, that you haven't
yes,
talked to in a while.
definitely, guys. Tivis, any final words for today?
This, I hate to be that person because I know it's going to make so many people upset, but the more we get into this show, the more I'm honestly feeling like this is the superior Munster show.
Well, I think what we're gonna try and do too is in a few episodes probably go back and watch another
It's not
episode or
even.
two of
I
the
know it's kind
original
of biased because this is closer to our stuff
time
growing
era.
up
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the subject matter and stuff too.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I said, this is why I also want to go back and watch some of the OG episodes and talk about them in context to watching this show.
Yeah.
as well. Just so we can have that kind of back and forth of like, okay, this is
Mhm.
this is that type of thing. And I think that would be really good for not only us to do a rewatch, of the original series because what we started this 3 years ago now.
Yeah,
So
2021.
yeah. So, definitely doing a rewatch of a couple of the good episodes, like ones especially that we remember, like that were hit
Mhm.
hard for us. Do some of those and talk about them in context to like what we think if it's we still like it, if what we think in context to this show and all that fun stuff. So it will be kind of fun, dude. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
But
cut off your final words though, but yeah,
oh, no, no,
definitely.
no, 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 not at all, not at all.
All right.
Yeah, so it's this season specifically continues to deliver these really great topic eh, conversations, uh,
Mhm.
fantastic acting all around.
Yeah.
Just Frank was not wrong when he said the show gets better as it goes. Because I
Yeah.
love season one, season two. We are only what 10 episodes in,
Yes.
and so we're almost at the halfway point, and it honestly feels like a step above season one. So
Yeah, definitely, man. For sure. And yeah, awesome. Well, I guess with that all said, guys, we will catch y'all next time. Oh, wait, what are we doing next time? We didn't even tell them.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We got a guess. We got Drac the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. I am going to say
Mm,
Grandpa, he was Jack the Ripper, which they
I'm
kind of
gonna
hinted towards in the original series, by the way. Remember, we had that
yeah,
discussion.
they hinted that he was everyone. He was Napoleon, he was
Yeah.
Genghis Khan, he was yeah.
Yeah.
Um Drac the Ripper. That is God, these titles are so difficult to try and decipher.
Yeah.
Um I
Oh,
can't
no.
what?
Grandpa is going to be a musician.
Oh,
'Cause he
oh, the
can rip a
rapper?
chord. No, he can rip a chord,
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking of play on rapper, but yeah. I do not know if we're gonna get two grandpa centric episodes in a row. It'd be awesome if we got it in Marilyn or Lily.
Clearly, we weren't. Not in
I
this one.
know. This is okay. So
Right.
I'm gonna guess grandpa starts a lawn care service.
Ripping the grass. Alright,
Eh, with how these titles are going, who knows how close I actually.
right. Alright. Alright, guys, now finally, with that all said, we will catch you all next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.